Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Wicked Art. It's Wicked here, and it is Fun Draw Friday. Now, I've been having to time lapse some of these because not a lot of people are watching the full, like this picture I think took 55 minutes to do in total, but I don't think anybody has been watching the longer videos, which is fine. That's cool. I want to give you guys what you want to see. So for fun, I thought I would draw Princess Leia today from Star Wars, but of course in kind of more of a stylized cartoon style. So the first thing I'm doing is just kind of going in and getting the face shape right. I wanted to kind of do like a Western style of art meets anime, so I kind of squared off the chin a little bit, but I'm really focusing on getting those eye shapes in. Usually for females, what I do is I like to outline the eyelash first and then go in and add the circles. Now, I don't make the iris and pupil like super big, just so it fits in and looks more natural. And then once I got the lips in, I started thinking about how to do the trademark Princess Leia bun from episode 4. So, or just Star Wars, the original. So I'm just kind of going in and adding in just more of the outline shapes for it. And I do have a picture of Carrie Fisher from Star Wars pulled up. So yes, I am using a reference so I could get the hair down. So I really was just trying to shape it and make it big enough close to the size so you can see I'm kind of like extending everything out. But yeah, then I wanted to add that kind of like a neck. Uh, it's almost like a turtleneck wrap, but I made it a little bit thicker just so it stand out and not look so plain. Um, and then we're really just kind of doing a portrait of it. So I had to go in and obviously get the chest right and really think about the size of it and how it's going to run into her arm. Because like I said, I'm just focused on the portrait of the image, so I'm not really going to draw her hands doing anything fancy. And then I wanted to kind of, once I had the chest in the place that I wanted to, I kind of reshaped everything else and then kind of went off the side of like having the rib cage down into the abdomen. So from there, I'm just kind of like adding details in the cloth so it wasn't so flat and straight. So I'm putting actual like kind of folds in there, nothing too fancy, just to kind of break up the straight lines a little bit. And then what I'm doing is I'm going into the hair. I was really struggling to kind of figure out like how I wanted to do this because I did want to ink the picture. So I'm kind of blocking off areas of light. So what I did was just kind of looked at the picture that I used for Leia with the. It was more like I guess it'd be like a promotional image of them just kind of looking at shots of her and how she would look, um, and kind of doing an exaggerated version of the reflections in the hair. So I'm just kind of sketching out and blocking out those areas. Where I really struggled was here in the bun itself, was I was trying to figure out how to get it to curve and fill in so that it still looks like the shape. So I just kind of have like a basic outline right now, and you'll see as I start to ink it, how it starts to turn out. Um, the other thing I wanted to do was kind of make it look more natural, so I had some like kind of hairs coming off the back end of it. I know when my daughters put their hair up, it's got some stringers hanging off of there. So the next thing I wanted to do was just put the rebellion symbol in the background. So I had to really kind of think about how to draw through the character and get those shapes to go through. So you can see me kind of pretend to sketch through the picture and then go out and get the curve. So it's a pretty basic symbol. Um, so it wasn't really too challenging to sketch in real quick. And then what I would do from there is I just went ahead and moved on to the inking stage. So I put a little thing under my book so it wouldn't bleed through my sketchbook to the next page. This helps save on paper, so something to think about. And then what I did is in certain areas, I wanted to make sure that I had, shadows and thickening lines where I needed them to be, just so that it would stand out more, so like neck shadows. And then really taking my time, not so much necessarily on this part with the body, because it's pretty basic shape forms in there. I may have added like a few little extra sketch lines in there to just kind of help sell the wrinkles and give it more than just a plain flat image. But when I went to the face and the hair, I really took my time just making sure that it was nice and soft, because a lot of times with what I'm using is just like a basic Sharpie fine tip pen, but it tends to bleed a little. So if you don't go slow enough, you can kind of sometimes get too much and thicken it. So you can kind of see it on my left eye, or it'd be her right eye, my left, your left, looking at the image. And it kind of made it a little bit too dark. I don't think it kind of messed up the picture in any way, but you can definitely tell it kind of bled through too much. So that kind of, led me to kind of, slow down a little bit more and lightly touch the paper. So the challenging part here with the hair was really kind of trying to decipher what I had put in as a block out, and then any extra lines that I wanted to put in. So most of the hair is kind of almost like a comic book style. Most of the hair is getting colored in black, but the highlights will help define the shape of the image, and make it, look like it's wrapping around on the sides too. So after filling in like a large area where I would have like the highlights still sticking out, I would just kind of go in there and just add a few extra lines to go with the curve of the hair, and that allowed it to look more like, the sketch line work was going through. So, I mean, all in all, it wasn't too challenging until I got to, again, the bun. The bun was just really hard because I honestly have not drawn hair like that with the inking, and that was the hard part. Like, if I was just drawing it normal with a pencil, I wouldn't have really struggled too much, just because I can use the line work to my advantage. But then I knew, like I said, I wanted to ink this and I didn't want to mess it up, so I really had to make sure I took my time, and concentrated on where the lines were going and how they were going to flow through. So you can see how it's kind of building out a reflection to the hair. So I kind of had to go through here and decide which ones are going to look better up against the skin, where the light's coming from. And again, it all just kind of comes from practice or doing like I did. I used a reference of a real life picture of Carrie Fisher, with her hair done up this way, and then could kind of base the kind of jitteriness of the line work to, help sell more of a reflective look. So you can see how I'm kind of adding in these little extra lines on there to kind of help the hair, flow a little bit. But once I had that bun down, that's why I saved it for last. It kind of, I think it worked out pretty good. There's probably some things I'd do differently. Probably maybe sketch out more of the line work first to get more of a flow to it so it looks a little bit more natural. I know after that, since I did the whole hair black, you'll see me do it in a minute. I go in there and I kind of do the same kind of technique with the eyebrow, just leave a little bit of a highlight with some line work through there. Um, and then with the hair that's kind of dangling off the back there, I just kind of really thickened up the bottom edge and just had that run through. And once I'm done with the eyebrows, of course I have to do the usual thing that I do with my images, where I thicken up the line all the way around and just have a nice thick edge so it kind of pops a little bit. So not only do I do that for Leia herself, I don't do it to the hair just because I think it'll kind of mess it up a little bit, but just the outline of the character. And then when I get to the rebellion symbol, I was thinking about shading that in, and I was like, oh lord, that's going to burn through my ink pen, so I kind of took the lazy way out and just thickened up the edge of that as well too. So all in all, this took about 55 minutes. You could obviously pause and slow down if you wanted to actually go with it and try to draw it yourself. But yeah, other than that, I had fun doing it. I love Star Wars, so it's fun doing this. But hey, if you want, you new to the channel, you like what you saw, go ahead and leave a like. Go ahead and subscribe. If not, I'm just glad you stopped by. But leaving a comment helps me guide me on to what I do draw on this channel. So let me know what you want to see next. Um, and like I said, if you're new and you like what you saw, leave a comment too, just because it helps me guide the channel. I don't care too much about the algorithm and all that stuff. I just care about getting my students, which is what I consider all my subscribers, the content that they really, really need, or want to see, right? I'm basing it off for you guys. Other than that, I'm just going to keep winging it. So, so yeah, so this is my Princess Leia for Fun Draw Friday. I hope you guys enjoyed watching the video. Thank you to everyone who did watch and stay till the end. Until next time, I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Remember to keep on sketching, and I will see y'all next week in the next video. All right? Bye.